It takes more than hard work to win new clients and reach new levels of income. You have to change your mind about yourself and your value. I really do want to see every consultant that uses TegraLearn add at least $100,000 to their income. And I hope this real-world case study will help you change your thinking so you can reach new levels of income and impact. I'll tell you the whole story, from how we got the lead, to how we priced our program, to delivery and evaluation. So how did we get the lead? I didn't learn the full story until months after we started work, but now I know what happened. It was one of those crazy serendipities. One of our executive coaching clients was at the airport to send off his daughter on a mission trip, and he ended up talking to a senior leader at a large local company who was there for the same reason. The topic of leadership development came up, and our client shared my name and contact information. Great referral. After that, I got a LinkedIn message asking about our services from someone I'd never met. Our prospect was a subsidiary of a Fortune 100 company employing about 9,000 people. Now, right away, I was intimidated because we normally work with smaller businesses of 50 to 300 employees. No one at this prospect had any idea who we were, except for the one senior leader. The intimidation factor increased when I learned who our competition was, the Ken Blanchard Company. I was nervous about competing against a well-known national consulting firm, but eventually we won the business because we were a local firm with a stronger offering. Our tiny consulting company provided a leadership development program for 36 of their vice presidents, associate VPs, and managers in one of their business units. Using the same process outlined in the TegraLearn platform, we facilitated a 6-month program. Back then, it was a very labor-intensive process because we manually sent out the weekly application assignments and manually booked the coaching calls. All that's automated now through TegraLearn, so you could deliver the same program today with much less labor. Here's what we actually delivered. We benchmarked 2 positions, vice president and manager. Based on those benchmarks, we guided the client to select the top 3 competencies needed for each role. Now, ironically, both groups shared 2 competencies, personal accountability and time and problem management, and they only differed in their 3rd competency, leadership and conflict management. We assessed all 36 leaders using the TriMetrix DNA and created gap reports to identify where they were starting in relationship to those 3 skills. In the first 2 months, we delivered our standard DISC and driving forces training as a foundation for self-awareness. After that, we changed gears to train them on those top 3 competencies. Our facilitator delivered content remotely, set out weekly application assignments, and led monthly group coaching calls. At the end, we retested the participants using the DNA 25, and we also solicited feedback from their direct supervisors using a custom-built questionnaire on SurveyMonkey. We combined the results from the self-report DNA and the supervisor report to create a composite measure of growth, engagement, and satisfaction. Here were our actual results. For participant engagement with a VP and associate VP cohort, 93%. The manager cohort, 94.9%. Program satisfaction on topics and content, 96.1%. Delivery mode, 88.4%. Facilitator, 100%. Overall satisfaction was 92.3, and the Net Promoter Score was 100. Now, you can see some graphs for their leadership growth on your screen. And while you look at those, here's some of the actual comments from participants. For the leadership competency, one leader said, "I now allow others time to process and come up with solutions instead of immediately jumping in and trying to solve it for them." In personal accountability, one participant wrote, "I realize that my expectations are very high for others, and I'm sometimes critical of what I perceive to be their shortcomings. To help combat this, I've started to realize that there are things I can do to help them overcome, like leading by example consistently, sending meeting agendas, communicating strategy via multiple methods, and sharing details of why tasks are important ahead of time." That's a big change. On time and priority management, one learner said, This is my biggest area of improvement. I now prioritize my day first thing, and I'm working much harder to stay on task and not allow interruptions like email to throw me off. So let's talk about price. I use the same formula for this engagement that I've shared with you in the Engagement Builder Excel worksheet, a program fee per person per month. That makes it easy for the client to see the individual charges as well as the total. Now, we charge $475 per person per month for the manager group, which is about $2,800 per person for 6 months, and $1,075 per person per month for the VP group, which is about $6,500 per person for 6 months. The difference in price came from the more senior leaders receiving monthly one-on-one coaching calls for 30 minutes versus the managers getting 90-minute group calls. The client originally committed to put 30 people in the program, but then they added 6 more. So clearly, price was not a barrier. The total engagement invoice ended up being over $150,000 for a 6-month program. Before that, the most I'd ever charged for leadership training was $25,000. Did it all go perfectly? Well, no. We hit some snags that hurt and learned some lessons. One, because everything was sent out manually, we spent more time and money than I had budgeted. I hired some people to help us deliver. If we'd been using the fully online TegraLearn platform, we would have avoided these costs. Second, we allowed individuals and groups to take longer to cover the material and turn things in late. In the end, it took almost 12 months to complete a 6-month project, which doubled my cost for paying the delivery people. Again, a fully automated online program would have controlled the start and end dates, the due dates, and sent reminders to keep everyone on track. Third, the client didn't like the fact that we assessed participants differently at the beginning and end, self-report at the beginning and self-report plus supervisor survey at the end. Now, that's an easy fix, and I would recommend setting up your evaluation plan to be consistent front and back. There were other learnings, like the long and slow sales process with multiple decision makers, a huge master training agreement we had to negotiate, and corporate-style requirements such as insurance and endless compliance forms. But we solved those issues early. In the end, this engagement proved several things to me. First, there's a big need for managers and even senior leaders to get soft skills training. Second, a local consulting firm can win over a big national firm. Third, price was not the big barrier I thought it was. We were able to successfully charge and deliver much more than we had in the past. But most of all, this engagement proved that remote and online learning works. By offering it to groups of leaders, we dramatically increased both our income and our impact. Now, could you sell and deliver a program like this? I'm quite confident that you can, because we've done the hard work. We've created the curriculum to match the TTI assessments. We've built a fully online program that is battle-tested and proven to get results. We've crafted tools to help you package and price your offering, like the Sample Engagements ebook and the Engagement Builder worksheet. And we're even setting you up with a sales presentation deck that you can put your logo on to present to your prospect. The one thing we can't do for you is change your mind. You have to do that for yourself. So are you ready to change your thinking and do something new to grow your business? Let us help you increase your income and impact. Click the link to get a starter subscription to TegraLearn.